Some of the best things that I like about Zanzibar was being on the land, seeing the emerald water.
Got to see the island, connect with the people, do exclusive luxury experiences that you'll only get on the island of Zanzibar.
The beach, fresh food, the people. I mean, I could write a short book about what I experienced here.
Eating the best fruit, vegetables, seafood.
Met some amazing people. We had an amazing time.
I like the tours that we went on, the Spice Island and the Paradise Island.
The snorkeling. That was an exclusive experience.
Huge sandbar that was set up like our private dining area.
The sand is soft, the water's warm.
Unadulterated, pure, simple, Zanzibar.
So the opportunity in Zanzibar is very, 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 very clear. There is nothing but economical growth and development happening right now.
Zanzibar, just because it's an up-and-coming area.
You get here and you see the opportunity.
And then you come on the African side, you get to see even a different type of togetherness.
Being able to ask questions and DJ was just like, hey, ask me anything.
Plenty of money and peace of mind. Zanzibar all day.
Right, I'm muted. All right, here we go. What is going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Family Finance Friday with DJ the Money Coach. And this show is brought to you by the DJ the Money Coach team and the 7 Spheres of Money systems. And before we get started, as you're coming in the door or if you're watching the replay, like the video, share, and subscribe to DJ the Money Coach right here on YouTube and help us spread the good news, spread the gospel of the Pom Pom lifestyle movement. And what is the Pom Pom lifestyle? That is plenty of money and peace of mind. And we invite you to come join us on the beaches of the World Club. And tonight's beach, we're bringing you part 2. The Zanzibar Resort officially opened in 2024 with DJ the Money Coach. So, DJ, happy Friday, brother. How you feeling?
You know me, Nick. Any day above ground with health is a great day, baby. Happy TGIF to everybody out there in the internet world. And, you know, hey, man, it is a great time to be alive. We're excited. Things are rocking. People are coming knocking. There's a favorite movie of mine called The Field of Dreams with Kevin Costner. He has an iconic line. He said, "You build it, they will come." So that's where we are on the journey of. We built it, and they're coming, baby. The only question is, are you coming with us? That's the only question. So, you know, what's our guy name? Is it Carter G. Woodson? Carter G. Woodson? Am I saying his name right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Carter G. Woodson. He wrote the book. What's the name of the book, historian?
The Miseducation of the Negro.
Miseducation of the Negro, which actually led to him actually creating the actual concept of Black history, which was not supposed to be, you know, a month, but that's how we got here, ladies and gentlemen. So, you know, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that's the origin of Black History Month. Became a week, then it became a month, then it basically became non-relevant because everybody named Mama got a month now. And we also have these conservative, you know, Black people out here that claim that, you know, skin has no relation to humanity and everybody's human. So there's nothing different between the color of your skin and the color of the other man's skin and the way you're treated nowadays, which is a bunch of hypocrisy. So, but we're going to keep it light. We're going to keep it bright, and we're going to bring it to you all night. Man, I just dropped some bars. We're going to keep it light, keep it bright, and bring it to you all night.
Nice.
Yeah, yep. I know y'all saying that's corny, but check it out, though, ladies and gentlemen. It's Black history. However, you and I know Black history is 24/7, 365.
That's right.
And the great thing about today's title, being at part 2, is that the dream is being realized, and it's not a Black history dream. It's an American success story brought to you by Black people that made it Black history. You follow me? So with that said, we're going to jump in and we're going to share with you the journey of how we got here and how you can actually participate. And there's a couple of different ways for you to jump on board, because here's the important part. And I think we shown this a couple of weeks ago about the Johnny come latelys. Okay. So if you're watching this for the first time and you don't know about us and how we got on this vocation, which is a calling to actually build something tremendously amazing and legendary in Zanzibar, it all started on a sliver. A sliver. And the first and foremost thing, this is Family Finance Friday with DJ the Money Coach. So before we can get to the big stuff, we got to master the little stuff, ladies and gentlemen. And what do you do to master the little stuff? First thing, if you were like me 25 years ago and you had an inordinate amount of consumable debt, me, I had 60,000, 525 credit score. And before I started to panic and cry, woe is me, I basically looked in the mirror and I asked myself a question. Did I have somebody stick a to my head and force me to sign my John on the dotted line to get all this stuff, which I don't know where it is or where it went, when I was buying stuff to impress people who don't like me, for people who I don't even like, to have a good time? So the answer was yes, 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 and no, because I did not have this to my head. It was already in my mind that I needed stuff that give me value, because I was trying to place the void of God. So in 2024, we're going to talk a lot about the truth, the unadulterated truth, and we're going to keep it on a positive tip. And we're not going to get into the entertainment aspect, because what's happening now in the, whatever you want to call it, the entertainment sphere, the woman's sphere, the man's sphere, the garbage sphere, is that you're having a lot of people come out and they're crying Argentina and they're making great entertainment. And the reality is again, the other people are benefiting from your grief, your entertainment, and you're making them tens of millions of dollars. So you're getting crumbs and they're getting dollars. And one person thinks they're doing a lot. They're getting multi-million views, and it's great. But what I do is I look for the crumbs of principles that people miss, the planting of the seeds. Okay. So what's I got to do with, the dream realized? Well, the dream realized is that first and foremost, God gave you your authority over yourself, and you should not give your authority over yourself back to somebody else. That's the first dream. You own yourself. I want you to let that seep in for a minute, because the Constitution says you are able to pursue, peace, prosperity, and freedom, and nobody can take that from you. And the, Second Amendment actually allows you to keep your freedom, which is the freedom to bear arms, right? So if the dream is realized that you are your own agency, your own authority, then you should be able to accomplish any and everything that you want on this planet, as long as you do it legally, ethically, and morally sound. And the emphasis nowadays, ladies and gentlemen, is more on moral. That boat then left the shipyard 5-10 years ago, and nobody's trying to bring it back in. But we got to get back to morality in order for us to get back to bringing the, nuclear family back together. And tonight, this is just a representation of strong family values and community, where it says it takes a village to raise a child. That's really what we're doing here. So the first, manifestation, acknowledgement of the dream realized is that God made you, and God gave you the architectural design for your future, So you should keep control of it. Okay. So with that said, when I was talking about a sliver, this is the way things work. When you are the master of your own universe, you can have these amazing dreams to go out and, create something that's never been created before, because that dream was put in your head. And all you have to do is put a goal to it and a plan and bring a team together, and everything works out. So what we were able to do on a sliver is we got a phone call from a good, friend of ours. And the friend of ours, we were having conversations at their conference, which they had kicked off a great conference in Atlanta, and which we happen to be one of the keynote speakers, Nick and myself. And we were just talking about places we would want to go that will be bucket list trips. And Zanzibar happened to be one of them. So, that was in the summer of 2021, and didn't give much thought to it. And then in December of 2021, we get that call, December 26th, December 27th, 11:30 at night. And hey, you know what, DJ? Going to Zanzibar. And I meant to tell you about this 2-3 weeks ago, but we all busy. But I want to offer you an opportunity to come to Zanzibar with me. And I know that it's last minute. And I know most people may have the money. Most people may have the time, but they don't have both, the money and the time. And then most importantly, they don't own themselves. So I knew that if you had a desire to actually go to Zanzibar, since you're free, you probably could go. Guess what? They were right. I took the leap of faith. I bought the non-refundable $800 ticket. Not only got one for myself, but I also paid it forward, got one for my older sister, and I took her. And from there, the bucket list trip then became a calling. It became a calling. And it was kind of like how Moses, was raised to have everything. And then he saw, I think it was an Egyptian, beating up on a Jewish person. And he took it upon himself to step in, eliminate that person. And then he had to flee. But then God said, I set that all up so you can part the Red Sea and get our people free. And you guys are probably saying, man, what are you talking about? You're right. What am I talking about? I'm talking about freedom, baby. I'm talking about equity. I'm talking about ownership. I'm talking about building a life that is second to none, that you are the controller and the master architect to your own design. So on that sliver call, we jumped in, we saw a bucket trip, and then we said, wait, hold up. This island is a beautiful, magnificent island. And the reality of it is, it's pretty undeveloped. And the other reality of it on the economic side, albeit it may have taken me, 15 to 17 hours to get here, the exchange rate for my US dollar is spectacular. $1 US was equivalent to 2,600 of theirs. So I'm saying myself, here I am on this beautiful beach, white sand, emerald blue water that way out in the middle of the Indian Ocean, you can see down to the bottom, 30, 40, 50, 100 feet. Water, 70, 72 degrees. I just said, what if we could actually own some of this here in paradise? What if we can build something like the Field of Dreams and people would come if they didn't know that this paradise was the only one left and we exposed them to it? So I was just naive enough to believe in that dream that God started downloading into my brain that everything's possible. So you know what I did, ladies and gentlemen? I jumped into the deep. We started building a multi-unit 220 luxury residential resort. And everybody thought I was on a fool's errand and thought I lost my mind. And from there, we began this amazing journey. We started advocating, spreading the gospel, and we had nothing but dirt and sand. And people start believing that this could be something amazing because we start putting the architectural blueprint together, say this is what it's going to look like. But we also had a blueprint of another resort and some other experiences that we missed out on that we knew we could replicate. And that's what we did, ladies and gentlemen. We replicated. And now in 2024, literally less than 2 years, when I went to Zanzibar, which was like February 24th, 25th of 2022, we have now made the impossible possible, and we are realizing a dream come true and a first for anybody in America who's an individual. So specifically and purposely on January 15th, the actual birthday of Martin Luther King Jr., where he always talked about, I have a dream that one day we'll be on the mountaintop and everybody will be free. And you will not be judged by the color of your skin, but by the character that you possess. And I was just naive to believe that. But then I had to put that back, steel rod in my back, and stand up firm like Malcolm X and bring it over the finish line, baby. So on January 15th, we did a grand opening for this beautiful luxury residential Blue Lagoon White Sand Beach resort, only one of its kind on the whole island. We opened it up, and the floodgates are now about to pour all over 1,000-fold. And neither did we just stop there, ladies and gentlemen. We have a bigger dream. We went and bought more land. In July of 2023, we bought a couple of acres. And I said, wouldn't it be amazing if we can build some luxury townhouses like in America on the beaches I like to go to, like Destin, Florida, like Lake Michigan, like South Beach, like Marina Del Rey, Manhattan Beach. And you see these beautiful luxury townhouses sitting off the ocean front. I said, what if we can build some of these here and lay them out the way Americans like them? You think somebody might be interested in that? And I said, you know what? I think they will, because if I'm interested in it, I think they'll be interested in it. And lo and behold, Nick, we bought ourselves a couple of acres of land. A first. We got incorporated. A first. And in 6 months, less than 6 months, we have built 5 amazing luxury townhouses that are right now 90% complete. And we took a low 5-figure investment, ladies and gentlemen, and we turned it into $1 million. What do I mean by that, ladies and gentlemen? We actually bought the land. We built these beautiful luxury townhouses that just this past Tuesday, our first completed townhouse, swimming pool, gravel stone driveway, private gate, 2 upstairs and downstairs, 2.5 baths, master suite, master adjoining suite, appraised for just under $250,000 for the one property. We got 5, ladies and gentlemen. Let's do the math. So we now have turned the property into a $1.5 million valuation, and the land underneath is worth $1.2 million. And we now are starting to lease out these townhouses for $250 a night. And if you just do the math, ladies and gentlemen, on a 21-day lease times 250, I think that's $5,250. If you times that times 9, that's just under $50,000 a year. And the investment on that for the people who are wise enough to get in with us and buy their own townhouse, purchase a little percentage of the land with us, which nobody else is doing for people that look like you and me. They now have put themselves in position to create multi-generational wealth because they're going to make a 6-figure return over the next 2 to 5 years. And they're going to have a 5-figure return every quarter on their investment. And the greatest thing about it, ladies and gentlemen, they own it completely outright. Completely outright. So we didn't stop there. Most people would have stopped at the resort. Most people would have stopped at the condominium. The dream, here's the thing. Once you realize one dream, God gives you another dream. So now we're embarking upon creating the ultimate resort called the Pom Pom Lifestyle Resort. Plenty of money, peace of mind. We're going to open up that resort in April of 2025. And we all are going to do it collectively together. You, us, by us, for us, with us, for we can have a great win and create a championship way of life. That's the great thing. So think about this. If you didn't see the vision when we brought it to you in February 2022, and you didn't see the vision when we took the first 18, 20 people in August of 2022, and you didn't see the vision when we brought the second group in July of 2023, now you might just see the vision because we just took 15 more people, January 15th to January 21st, and they actually got to see it in full HD 8K from something that was conceptual in the mind to realized manifestation, real touch, feel, and smell, what is no short of a miracle. And we're going to show you that right now. So Nick, let's tee up the next video and let's just give them a taste of what the future is in the present, that it all started with a dream, a goal, and a plan. And what I want to emphasize to you, ladies and gentlemen, is that we always tell you that we have never met an individual who plugged into the 7 spheres of money in 2 to 5 years and applied the information, the mentorship, the strategies that have not made 6 figures. So you've heard us say that, but now right before your eyes, December 2021, we got the call. February, we made the trip. March, we made the trip. 2022, we had 0, and now we made that into a 6-figure, 7-figure opportunity. 6-figure, which is going to be recurring residual income by the end of the year, is already a 7-figure value in less than 2 years, ladies and gentlemen. So what are you waiting for? If I can tell you, number one, here is the equity and ownership in what we, DJ the Money Coach organization, own and operate with the actual deeds, the actual certifications. And we're not consultants. We're not intermediaries. We're not representatives to sell you something. We have no skin in the game. And 2, we can show you how to have access to ownership, which is what you saw in the first video as we opened up the show. Every person on that video, we allow them to purchase a percentage of the land of the townhouses that we built. And ladies and gentlemen, we didn't have to do that. We didn't need their money. But what better way to express practicing cooperative economics? What better way to leverage our professional networks? What better way to show how we already built a successful ecosystem called the 7 spheres of money, and then we found another ecosystem to interdependently come together to have scale of economy to create the master and ultimate win equity, and ownership. That's what we're talking about. So you have seen live in less than 2 years, we have gone from 0 to 7-figure value and 6-figure residual opportunity, and you can still be part of it. And all you got to do is follow our blueprint. And all you have to do is allow us to give you access to our network, our ecosystem, to maximize the execution of your dream. And then the last thing, all you got to do is say, DJ, Nick, how do I enroll? How do I get started? How soon can I be part of this successful winning dream on Black History Month? You can do it right now. Check out the video. And tomorrow, we're going to do an exclusive training for those who are winners. We were just on our friend's show last night. We had a lot of people sign up. This is an exclusive Black History opportunity that we're never going to do again, because we don't have to prove anything to anybody no more. Now, they're knocking on our door. Before, we were knocking on their door to say, hey, I got some hope. But hope deferred makes the heart sick. We got the Mott's, baby. That's an old school reference. Mott's, applesauce used to be the bomb. We got the Mott's, baby. We have made the Mott's. And that's what we're telling you about. So rotate. Check this out, ladies and gentlemen. The dream is realized, but the most important thing, anything that God gives you up here from him comes to reality when you can put your dreams and your goals to work. Nick, I always talk about, those pretenders who be having those $1 million commercials. So I said, you know what? We'll get us one of those since we actually are producing $1 million product.
Yeah,
before y'all say anything, you always hear me say they got to bring you the $1 million commercials because they don't have zero assets and equity and ownership. We happen to have both, baby. So why not roll out that $1 million video, because we just showed you we got the Mott's. So what you ought to be doing right now is, number one, you ought to be excited for whatever dream you have in your heart, in your mind, in your soul. And you ought to be able to say, if DJ did it, I can do it too. That's right, because God's no respecter of person. I believed and I knew if I had the vision from God and I put the word out, this would come to reality. And you best believe that we practice the 4 dirty little words. So let's talk about that, because the foundation, because I know you're watching this right now in the replay or you're watching it live and you're saying to yourself, I don't have that kind of resources. I don't have this. But what you're not saying properly is you're not speaking from the proper mindset. Them 6 inches between your ears, you got to say, How do I get this to reality? You know how you do it? Number one, discipline, baby. Discipline yourself. Cut out all the distractions. Number two, accountability. That means have yourself accountable to a higher authority. Have yourself accountable to somebody who's done what you're trying to do. Number three, find a successful, proven system. You know what the system is? It's right behind Nick. The 7 spheres of money. The 7 spheres of money has been around since December of 2002. What is that? 22 years. We have been practicing the 7 spheres of money ecosystem. We've been accountable to it. We disciplined ourselves. And number 4, we have not been thinking about working for 1 week, 1 month, 1 year. We put our heads down. We don't negotiate the price of success, and we go to work for 2 to 5 years to create massive equity and ownership with passive income, debt freedom. Now we incorporate the soft skills because it's called the 4x4, baby. The 4 dirty little words. Now we got to get into the soft CEO suite skill sets. Number 1, professionalism. You know what that means. That means wear the right clothes. So you always see me, baseball cap, glasses, t-shirts. But what'd you see on that $1 million video? You saw me dressed to the nines in a $1 million suit, custom made. You know why? Because that event warranted me looking the best because we're entertaining a multi-million-dollar development and we're giving information to very successful investors. So we want to look the part, be the part, speak the part, talk the part. Professionalism, speak the part, wear the proper clothes, be on time, speak the King's English, talk the lingo in the industry. That's professionalism. And you're probably saying, DJ, why do you have to tell me that? Hey, just look across the landscape. You see a lot of people making money and looking like bums, looking like scrubs. And a lot of times that's a reflection of who they really are. It ain't all the time, but most of the time it is. Think about that dude Brinkman, $1 billion scam in the crypto space. Need I say any more? He had the audacity to go to a conference with President Clinton and the Prime Minister, Tony Blake of the UK, in wrinkled shorts and a wrinkled t-shirt. So that's professionalism. That's the first P in the 4 Ps. The second one is you have to have persistence to persistently pursue your plan. Don't let any obstacle, any setback prevent you from accomplishing your plan. So you have to have persistence. Remember this, water over time erodes everything. It wears everything down. Ants, they work and work and work. Bees, they work and work and work. Persistence. Then number 3 is where the men separate themselves from the boys and the women separate themselves from the girls. You have to have the intestinal fortitude of perseverance. Because let me tell you this, if you don't think we have not had multitude of challenges, setbacks, disappointments, betrayals in this journey, building this multi-million-dollar 220-unit luxury residential resort, I would have to tell you, you're very naive. Because there's many people inside and outside did not want us to make this happen because it shines the spotlight on their fraudulent actions. It then shines the spotlight on people who try to project their insecurities on you when they tell you you're on a fool's errand, DJ. There's no way somebody is coming to Zanzibar when I thought that was a club in Cleveland. Matter of fact, I thought that was a restaurant on the south side of Chicago. You talk about this really a Zanzibar? I thought you would talk about the movie Xanadu with Olivia Newton-John. So check it out. You have to have perseverance. So as you're watching this right now, guess what you should be doing? You should be hopping on the horn and you should be telling everybody, man, tune in right now to Family Finance Friday with DJ the Money Coach and Nick Westbrooks, because a dream has just been realized that they are one of one. We're not the first Black people to do this. We're the first people to pull off what we did in Zanzibar. Facts. What do you mean, DJ? There's already resorts in Zanzibar. Yes, there are. There's already people I seen on IG 4 or 5 years ago taking tourist trips. Yes, there are. However, ladies and gentlemen, those resorts that you see in Zanzibar, they're created by sovereign funds and institutional money backed by governments. Facts. Those people who are influencers who take people over there for tourism trips, that's all they doing. So when I tell you we're the first to create a 220 unit luxury residential resort with a Blue Lagoon white sand beach as the primary, baby, the primary equity and ownership owner, I'm speaking truth to your ears. When I tell you we're the first to actually buy land that does not have any encumbrances, any hindrances to you actually owning the soil. So most of the resorts in Zanzibar, albeit they are institutional investments, they don't own the land underneath the buildings. They are 99-year leases. We own, we are incorporated. So we are playing in 5 different industries in equity and ownership, baby. And here's the great thing. We are inviting you to come along for the journey and get your piece of the pie. So what you're seeing right now is the realization of the incarnation of Don Peoples, Robert Smith, Reginald F. Lewis, DJ the Money Coach. And the common denominator in all of those people is that we got big dreams, visions from God, and we're helping the people discover something that they thought was not possible. And now we are just opening up the playbook and letting you come along for the journey with us. And most importantly, we're giving you the co-pilot seat, and you can even have the pilot seat. But one thing we can't do for you, we're not going to push you into success. We might tug you a little bit, but we're not going to push you. So if you really want to get free, then you got to apply the 4th P. You got to perform, baby. Because when we got that call on the sliver, and when the lights are the brightest, and the pressure is the hardest, we're calm, cool, and collected because we already saw the dream manifested from God and the vision, and all we're doing is following his plan. And that's the key thing. And what we're doing better than anybody. And I'm being real with you. Outside of Reginald F. Lewis, Don Peoples, great guy, phenomenal multi-billionaire, great team. Robert Smith, phenomenal visionary in the fintech sector, paid off all those student loans at Morehouse. and Spelman. But Reginald F. Lewis, he purposely kept bringing everybody to the table, kept bringing all community all the time from the first part of the process to the end of the rainbow. See, the other guys, they got the rainbow for themselves first, and then they did their philanthropy. Reginald F. Lewis said, hey, let's get in this together and let's grow it together and let's win together. And that's what we're doing, ladies and gentlemen. That's the legacy. So we're going to bring you resorts, condominiums, luxury townhouses, tourism through capitalism, but compassionate capitalism. So we're going to show you tomorrow exclusively how to go from A to Z in an assembly line process, how you can go from zero to hero and make up to 6 figures a year and create a 7-figure portfolio in Zanzibar. But you don't have to do it in Zanzibar. We can show you how to do it right here. Think about that. So all of you who have been watching this story unfold for the past 2 years, and you've been wanting to get involved, but you had somebody in your ear say, that ain't gonna work. That ain't for you. I'm gonna challenge you and say, stop listening to them naysayers and get on the boat with us, because you can't discount what you see, baby. See, that $1 million video that we shot, that's real. That property that you saw me cutting the ribbon on, that's mine. Let me correct myself. That is ours with 52 other investors. I stand corrected. As Malcolm X said, you take the I, L out of illness and you insert we, and you create wellness in our community. And that's what we're here to do. So we take the 4x4, the 4 dirty little words, which is the hard tangibles. We incorporate the 4 P's, which are the intangibles, and we bring them together, and you create massive success in 2 to 5 years. And you get on a journey to do the impossible, because when you break impossible down, it says, I'm possible. And that's how you win. That's how you become a champion in life. That's how you become a winner, a leader, and a shepherd. That's how you have 100% autonomy of yourself. Because guess what, ladies and gentlemen? No one can stop a movement when its time is now. The pom-pom lifestyle movement, plenty of money, peace of mind, cannot be stopped, because God has been putting this in my mind since December of 2002. And now he's allowing the floodgates to open, because you know what? We were faithful servants when nobody else believed in the dream. And now God is saying, guess what? We're going to show you the power of the omnipotent, omniscient theology of God for everybody to see through the small vessel called DJ the Money Coach. And we couldn't be more excited. So what we're going to do for you guys on Black History Month, even though it's 24/7, 365, we're going to give you an opportunity to do something exclusively better than anybody. And here's the thing. What's that retail holiday coming up next Wednesday, Nick? What's the name of it?
You be referring to Valentine's Day.
Valentine's Day. That's right. And all the beautiful ladies out there, they're going to be prodding you, reminding you, dropping you a little text, a little link, and you're going to be thinking about flowers. You're going to be thinking about chocolate. You're going to be thinking about trinkets. You're going to be thinking about dinner. And guess what? That is all amazing. It's a phenomenal experience. But unless you are on the production side of that event, you're getting nothing but a nice little experience. But what we're telling you about, you're going to get assets, ownership, and you can still have the caviar, the champagne, the chocolate, the diamonds, the dinner, and the dream vacation because you own it. And the reality is, we don't have to prod you to push retail consumerism because you already been indoctrinated. But the reality is, we got to educate you and show you this when this is a much better opportunity. So let's go and show them another amazing video, because we're not going to spend a lot of time on this because this is part 2. Part 3, we're going to show you the actual conference, day 2 and day 3. And if you're wise enough, we're going to give you an amazing special at the end of tonight that you can take advantage of tomorrow that's going to blow your mind. And next time you'll be with us in the next upcoming trip, which is going to happen real soon here. In the next 90 to 120 days, we'll be back in Zanzibar. We'll be partying. We'll be buying more beachfront property. We'll be building more multi-million-dollar businesses, and you'll be right beside us. Because I believe if you're watching this, you are a winner. You are a leader, and you are a shepherd. So, Nick, take us to the break, and let's give them another view of the amazing dream that God gave us in December of 2021. And you are riding along with the ride with us, and we appreciate everything about you. So remember, like, share, subscribe to The Real, and stop watching that gossip stuff on those other channels. That's all it is. Sometimes you have little hiccups, but you know what? Remember that 3rd P, perseverance? We just keep pushing, moving forward, baby. Because the reality is, if you're a winner, which I know you are like us, you didn't need to see but 30 seconds. So now you ought to be asking yourself, hey, DJ, how do I enroll? How do I get part of that pom-pom lifestyle movement package? We thought you never asked. So here's what we're going to do for you on Black History. We have what's called the Black History Back to the Basics program, and it's going to give you this. Number 1, we're going to make sure that we do an assessment on you to figure out where you are in life. If you're making $1 million a year, $100,000 a year, $20,000 a year, or $100 a year, we're going to make an assessment to get you on the right pathway to first become consumer debt free. Second, we're going to take you through the Pay Yourself First program to show you how to put away money for a rainy day, then put money into, a Roth IRA, then put money into a self-employment pension plan or a self 401k. Then we're going to show you, if you have children who are age 12 to 16 or 6 to 18, we're going to show you how to take advantage of the new tax modification of the 529 plan, which I've never been a fan of, but now the IRS has got hip and said, hey, we don't want to lose these people. We're going to show you how to maximize that. And then after we get all those ducks in a row, we're going to teach you how to build your own business. Take that first dollar and buy residential property, mobile homes, apartment buildings, duplexes, storage units, technology like Grab TV. And then if you want to roll with us on the big time, like D Nice, we're going to teach you how to get involved in resorts and be part of the major opportunity. So that's the first thing we're going to do. And that's going to be in a consultation one-on-one with yours truly to sit you down and show you how I've shown you since December 21 from 0 to 7-figure multi-million-dollar operation that's going to generate heavy 6 figures of revenue each and every year for you to get free. The second thing we're going to do, we're going to give you the replay of the live stream of the 3-day conference in Zanzibar. That's right. We're going to give you day 1, the grand opening that you just saw in the video, everything that happened behind the scenes and in front of the camera. Day 2, we're going to give you the live stream of when we went to the townhouses and showed everybody how we're building them and how they're being completed. And then number 3, most importantly, we're going to sit you down and show you how we actually had our new team, the 7 Spheres of Money International in Zanzibar, explain to our investors and our partners how they can go from A to Z and open up business in Zanzibar. And that's a live stream that the people who actually had it while it was live, they invested $500, $475. You're going to get that as a bonus, but only for the first 5 people tonight will you get that one free. And then last but not least, scroll up, Nick. This is the one that you really want. We're going to give you tomorrow the master training of how to make this happen. So yesterday on our partners channel, a lot of people signed up, but here's what I want to tell you. This is exclusively only for 30 people. We only have a handful of spots left because this is not open to the general public. In 2024, we have made our mind that we're going to pivot and we're only going to work in 2024 with people who are serious. We have been bleeding hearts trying to help everybody. And there's nothing wrong with that. But the reality is at some point in time, we got to compete with the multinational companies, and we got to compete with the people who have the mindset right away. And we can't be worrying about people who are trying to think, pontificate, get validation, whatever. We got to go now, because if we go now, we'll not only create bigger opportunities, but we will employ more of our people and be able to give them skill sets and equity and ownership that nobody else can. So from this day forth, we're only going to be working with high-end professionals, which is what we do in corporate America anyway. So if you've been watching us for the last 2 years and you're a high-end professional, you have a small business, make $250,000 to $5 million a year, and you're looking to get to the next level or get some tax advantages or learning how to develop resorts or learning how to create multi-generational estate planning plans, we are talking to you because you're the type of person you know how to go without being pushed. You just need a little tug. So for the first 5 people, you can get all of this with the replay of the live stream included. And then we'll show you tomorrow, 12 Eastern, 11 a.m., A to Z, how we put this all together. And we'll give you the blueprint to how to do it with 30 days, 60 days, 90 day, 1 year plan, and a 2 to 5 track record to how you can get engaged and get on the journey. And most importantly, we're going to show you how you can invest as little as $20,000. And for people who already been rolling with us, as little as $10,000 and make close to $45,000 to $100,000 in 2024 through the 5 ancillary businesses that are going to support our resorts, support our condominiums, support our luxury townhouses. We got a lot more in store, baby. A lot more in store. We figured out some stuff that after we built the infrastructure that can make massive high returns on our investment right now with just little bit of common sense. And now we're going to apply it. So if you are watching this right now and you're making comments and you're excited, you ought to be saying, DJ, how do I enroll? Because let me tell you this. This is from the mouth of 2 major organizations. The African Diaspora Conference that's based out of Houston, which I was one of their speakers in October. And now the African Diaspora Conference of Tanzania. Their president reached out to contact me, and we had an amazing 1.5 hour conference call. And the president told me, you know what? You're doing more than our people here in the United States that were born and raised in Tanzania. And that is just mind-blowing. So needless to say, they're excited because they're dealing directly with the government of Tanzania. So I've been invited humbly to be one of the keynote speakers at their conference and also to give an exclusive presentation to their organization. Now, if they're from Tanzania and they're excited because they know how much massive growth that's happening in Zanzibar, you should be excited too. But you might need a little education. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to give you the gospel according to the Bible of the case study called Africa Rising. So if you're smart and you have any doubts, you don't have to believe me. Believe VJ, PhD in economics, wrote this case study in 2011. And I can tell you, ladies and gentlemen, when I read it, I studied it, and our team studied it, I didn't have to think anymore, but how much can we acquire in the next 24 months? And that's when I came up with the catchphrase, take a bite out of Zanzibar. The B, buy 100 acres of land in 24 months. We're already 1/10 of the way there, ladies and gentlemen. The I, invest in the ancillary businesses that will support the tourism of resorts. That's where the real money is, ladies and gentlemen. So let me tell you about 5 key businesses that most people are not even aware of, but they're participating in it as a tourist. Number 1, you got to get on an airplane to get to Zanzibar from America. $109 billion that we spend in 2022 on travel as Black Americans in 2022. Projections for 2024, upwards to $125 billion. But you know what? We own less than 2% in equity and ownership in the travel industry. That's right. I know you know people, oh, they got to travel, but they're just intermediaries. Middlemen. That's a fancy word for middleman. They don't own no hotels. They don't own no planes. They don't own no resorts. They make a good living, but they don't own no equity and ownership. Nothing wrong with that. So that's $100 million business in Zanzibar in the next 24 months. And that's residual, ladies and gentlemen. How do I know? Because when I first found out about going to Zanzibar in December 2021, nobody knew about Zanzibar. But the Europeans knew about it. 98% of the tourism in Zanzibar is through Europeans, Middle Eastern people, not by us. less than 1% of Americans even know Zanzibar exists. Less than 2% of blacks even have passports. Go figure. I'm a business person who studies economics. I don't speculate. The second industry is transportation. Private transportation is a necessity in Zanzibar because they have poor infrastructure. There's no public transportation. Their transportation they have is very archaic. It's like living in not even a third world. And this is not to cast any dispersion on beautiful island of Zanzibar. They're just in the analog age. But the great thing is, since they're in the analog age, somebody like you and I, we can take advantage of that because we can bring our compassionate capitalism from America and transport it there. $100 million a year. Every time I'm there, ladies and gentlemen, we have a private driver that it cost us $500 to $700 a week. And some people who don't have the assets that we have and can't get the discount price, they're paying $1,000 to $1,200 to go back and forth because most of these, trips are, 30, 45 miles away from each other, and they take an hour, hour and a half to get from place to place. The third business is an obvious one. It's called waste management. What does that entail? That entails the commercial picking up of the refuse, the pest control, the personal cleaning. All of that stuff falls under waste management and industrial cleaning. That's $100 million business. And I give you 3 guesses. First 2 don't count. How I know so much about it. Nick, tell them. How do I know so much about that industry?
Oh, I mean, because you worked in that industry. You had some equity and ownership in that industry. So definitely some experience in it firsthand.
Absolutely. I created a small little company, ladies and gentlemen, called White Glove Immaculate Services in 1997. Incorporated. I went from residential cleaning to commercial cleaning to all types of cleaning and turned a dream from God again. Read a book called The Roaring 2000s by Harry S. Denton Jr., PhD, talked about economics and S-curve economics. And I was naive to believe that I can go into downtown Chicago while they were redoing the South Loop and create a multi-million-dollar business. We did it. So I'm going to tap into my expertise in that lane on the island. And then the next $100 million business is their number one. It's called excursions and tourism. Spice Island, Prisoner Island, Fort Hood, the Mercantile, Paradise Island. All these are excursions and tourism things that people love to experience. Swim with the whales, the dolphins, the turtles. That is a big profit center, which a lot of Europeans take advantage of, and they don't even have corporations in Zanzibar. But we do, and we're going to maximize that. And then last but not least, ladies and gentlemen, what we like in America, when we go to 5-star, 4-star hotels, we like concierge, white glove treatment like the Ritz-Carlton, the Four Seasons. You understand what I'm saying? So these are 5 ancillary businesses that you can have government contracts, private B2B contracts. They're going to yield multiple returns on investments right now. So our resort is a Trojan horse, ladies and gentlemen. And here's the great thing. For all you people who are in the entertainment sector, I don't care what phase, singer, dancer, influencer, whatever. Here's the one thing that you don't have that we have. That every time you put an event on, even our great partner, every time they put on an event, Nick, what do they have to do to put that event on?
What do they have to do to put that event on?
Yep. So it's a destination. What do they have to do? They got to do what? For us to go speak somewhere, what do we have to do?
Oh, if you're going to a destination, you will of course you got to reserve a venue. So you got to ask for permission.
There you go, right there.
Yeah.
There it is.
Yeah.
So all these people are partners at Heart and Soul. You know, are partners at Rice University. Every time they talk about doing something large, it requires a destination, a venue. Uh-oh. That's a touchdown right there, baby. That's a Super Bowl. Guess what? Nick, what do we have?
We have a venue where people can come and host their conferences.
Say that again, Nick. I don't think they heard you.
We have a venue where people and organizations can come and host their conferences and their events.
So do we ever have to worry about a destination? And we got a venue on the most sexiest part of the island.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think you heard what we just said, ladies and gentlemen. So when we went and did speeches at Rice University, in Atlanta, in Houston, in Orlando, we had to secure the venue. What does that cost? Money. That's an upfront heavy expense that most people can't push or pull because they don't have the dollars. So guess what we did? If you were paying attention, I gave you a clue at the beginning. What did I say the movie was, Nick?
So what you said the movie was? The movie you mentioned at the beginning. What movie? Yeah, I gotta remind me. I forgot which movie you mentioned.
It's the baseball movie.
Oh yeah. Field of Dreams, right?
And what's the iconic line in the Field of Dreams?
I forgot. I got everybody. What was the? Remind me the line again.
We build it, they will come.
Oh yeah.
We build it, they will come. Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to understand the genius of what we've done. And this is from God. We built the most important part of the ecosystem, the venues. We own it debt free. Thanks to people like D Nice. Thanks to people like Cynthia. Thanks to people like Brandon. Thanks to people like Jeffrey. Thanks to people like Jadiana. Thanks to people like Van Dyke, Eric. So we don't have to worry about blackouts, overpriced venues. We own it. And we were wise enough, ladies and gentlemen, to own it on the most valuable piece of real estate on the island. How many of you have read Robert Kiyosaki's multi-million-dollar book called Rich Dad, Poor Dad? How many of you have read his best book, The Cash Flow Quadrant? How many of you have heard people say, oh, he made all that up? And if he did make it all up, guess what? I was dumb enough to believe it, and it became real for me. And in that book, he talks about rich dad, poor dad. Poor dad had a PhD in education, and poor dad was a great guy, and then poor dad made the biggest mistake you can make. He challenged the superintendent of the school district and ran after his office and lost. And what happened, Nick?
He was done. He was done after that.
Because he didn't know politics, and he didn't think that they were not going to terminate him when he didn't beat the superintendent. So he went from living in a multi-million-dollar house to the poorhouse. But conversely, rich dad, no college education, barely a high school education. He just started buying up property quietly on the island of Hawaii back in the 70s. And even if you thought that was, what they call it, Nick? Because I be getting these things wrong, an allegory or whatever. Help me out. You're the master of English.
What you trying to describe there?
So I'm talking about Rich Dad when he was buying the properties, and then people be thinking
Right,
that
right.
this is an allegory or whatever. I don't know what it's called because I'm telling you a story and parallels and
okay.
parables and stuff. So I
Gotcha.
think it's an allegory. I could be wrong, but correct me. But here's the moral of the story. His rich dad was super intelligent. He didn't need a formal education because he knew what real freedom was. It wasn't getting a PhD. And if you're watching this and you upset because I'm telling you a PhD means pile higher and deeper in debt, that's your problem. Yeah. He went out and started buying land, little plots at a time. And eventually, when poor dad made the cardinal mistake and challenged the superintendent and lost his job, rich dad had accumulated acres of prime real estate up and down Waikiki Beach, Lanai and everything, where nobody was paying attention because Hawaii wasn't always Hawaii back in the early 70s. Imagine that. But check this out, ladies and gentlemen. Just 2 months ago, Real Rich Dad just sold his portfolio. I think it was to Hilton for $800 million. As Arsenio Hall used to say, make you go, Yeah. So, 50 years later, you think his family upset because they worth over $800 million? So guess what? We are borrowing the same blueprint that Rich Dad did. We are strategically, quietly acquiring a whole bunch of undervalued prime real estate, and we're developing it, and we're just running the Rich Dad, Poor Dad game plan, specifically the Rich Dad. And all we're saying to you, come along on this fantastic voyage and realize the dream with us too. Imagine that. I want you to think about this. In the last 24 months, we have taken 50 people to Zanzibar, and only about 3 of them ever been to Africa in their whole lives. But now, those other 47 people, they can't wait to get back to Zanzibar. But here's the great thing about it. Every one of those people, Nick, except for 2, have invested in Zanzibar with us. One is Eric's sister. She came to protect him from me. The other one is Tara's friend. She came to protect her from me. Both of them said, oh, I thought you were a hoax, a scammer like the rest of them internet guys. Wait a minute. You actually own real estate. You actually know real business.
Yep.
Need I say any more? You know what I need to say, Nick? Run that next video. Show them the grand opening of the Blue Lagoon Beach. Now I want to tell you, we are one of one unicorn, ladies and gentlemen. We own the only Blue Lagoon white sand beach resort in all of Zanzibar. All of Zanzibar, baby. Rotate. See it for yourself. If you don't believe me, see it for yourself. And you'll see why we're so excited for what I'm trying to figure out. I see several people on here, but I don't see nobody trying to come and get down with the program. Don't matter to me. Hey, winning ain't for everybody. But if you're watching this broadcast, you got to be a winner. You got to be a leader, and you're surely a shepherd. So unless you're already down with the program, hit that link and let us show you how to get this. Rotate, baby. So check it out, ladies and gentlemen. I see here in the comments, D Nice said, get on my calendar immediately. Nick, make sure you get D Nice on the calendar because D Nice has been asking about that part of the auxiliary services for the longest. We wanted to make sure the timing was right, get the grand opening off the ground so that we don't spread ourselves thin. Now we can pivot and start making the big money work because we got the resort open. So we got the people to actually provide the tourism piece. So let me talk about that just for a little bit. I'm only going to talk about a little bit because we're not going to give away the secrets to the general public. I want you to think about this. You just saw that Blue Lagoon White Sand Beach. And you probably have seen our videos where we're in the boat and then we're on this island. Then we're eating lobster and we're eating prawns and everybody's having a great time. That's the tourism excursion business. So now that we have opened up the resort, we're going to own 100% of that. I want you to think about this. Again, if you don't know what genius is, see, I used to think when I was in private elementary school that my mother worked 2 jobs to put me and my sister through, that I was a genius because I could figure out complicated things that nobody could understand, especially on the math side. But I came to get schooled what real genius is. Real genius, I want you to write this down, ladies and gentlemen, is the ability to make complicated things simple for the masses. I'm going to say it again. Real genius is the ability to make complicated things simple for the masses. So the genius that you're seeing here is complicated, but we're making it simple for the masses that the 52 investors like D Nice, they saw it so easy. But what we're doing is so complicated. It's at a level of the top 1%. Real talk. We sit down with venture capitalists, hedge fund guys, private equity, and we have to explain the real deep numbers, the cap rates, the P&Ls, the depreciation. And we have to be able to articulate it at their level. Remember that I told you about professionalism? I speak their language, but I also speak your language to make it so simple that it's a layup. But guess what? I can't put the ball in the basket for you. I can give you that alley-oop. You got to just tip it in, baby. Think about that. If they got everything that you want, land, ownership, freedom, great life, lined up with God, then take their advice. Let me tell you this, and this person I'm about to talk about, they'll tell you, I don't take advice from people not doing what I'm trying to do morally, ethically, or principally based on principles of God. I don't take business advice from my mother. I love my mother, but if my mother told me don't invest in Zanzibar, I don't listen to her. Now I take my mother's advice about how to treat women the best way you're supposed to treat them, because my mom's a Proverbs 31 woman. There's a tip. I don't take spiritual advice from people who hang out with Diddy at parties. I ain't gonna say no names, but hey, a spade is a spade. And don't give me that, oh, Jesus said hang out with the reprobate, derelicts, and sinners of the world. That don't fly here, baby. Because these guys, their personalities, and they're hypocrites. I'm flawed, big time. But you never gonna see me hanging out with Diddy. I'm flawed, big time. But you never gonna see me chasing money like Sexy Red. Because guess what? When I grew up, that was reprimand, repulsive behavior. But because somebody gave some money, you think that's right? That's my PSA. But my moral of the story is follow people who have fruit on the tree. Take advice from the person who has fruit on the tree. And if that person gives you advice and it's bad advice and it don't hurt them, you should never take their advice. See, when I take my mom's advice in the lane about relationships with women, guess what? It hurts my mother if I get hurt doing relationships, marriage, and stuff like that, because guess what? She don't get the benefit of great grandchildren. She don't get the benefit of a happy, peaceful son. There's a tip. As it pertains to business, if the person giving me advice in business, they don't own a resort, why should I listen to them? If they don't have a 7-figure income with 6 figures of passive income and been doing it for 15 years, why am I listening to them? But you'll sit around here and take advice from Pookie and Ray Ray. Oh no. Or you'll take advice from Biff Davenport. You'll catch that one on the way home. Because Biff Davenport telling you right now, oh man, you ought to be doing some shorts. You ought to be doing some calls. You ought to be doing some derivatives. You ought to be doing some infinity banking. Because I know. Because I got the money, baby. But I'm going to tell you. Check out this documentary. It's called Bitconned. 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 Young Caucasian boys made up a fake Bitcoin scam and had the audacity to use Visa logos, Bank America logos, and created a card and robbed people of hundreds of millions of dollars. But you know what? They got a pass because they look like Biff Davenport. And all they had to do is check the receipts in real. Call up Visa. Call up and say, hey, man, blah, blah, blah. No, man, because I looked the part. But again, that's a PSA. So what I encourage you to do, because we're about to close out, 3 questions you should ask anybody you engage with. Number 1, show me, DJ, Nick, the equity and ownership in whatever you are sharing with me, marketing to me, selling me. And if you happen to have the real equity and ownership, the title, the business, the deed, the land, then I can get down. Number 2, this is the most important question. How do you, Nick and DJ, help me access your network to execute my dream so I can be on this broadcast talking about my success, not your success? Because at the end of the day, with me, baby, what's in it for me? I believe we have a massive network. I believe we have a very deep network of people who run very successful Fortune 50 companies. Hey, man, I can't make up the stuff you see me in the real videos if I don't have it. I'm not that smart. I don't green screen and put myself over superimposed in a jet, in a Lambo. I can't fake Grab TV. I can't fake being invited exclusively to a Microsoft certified 7-figure earners event at the Raiders Stadium where the Super Bowl is. I can't fake the fact that I know the guy, Joseph, who runs the whole entire stadium operation with Azure legacy software created by exclusively Microsoft. I can't fake that. Because it's real, baby. This ain't Memorex. So now that we can show you how to access our network and help your dreams become a reality, just like you saw in the very first video, those people that came to Zanzibar with us, we did not have to have them buy the land with us because I have my own money. But what I said, what's more important? Me showing them I can buy acres of land and tell them how to do it? Or more importantly, serve them first and let them buy the land with us? What do you think is better long term? But ask yourself, all these gurus, all these experts out there that show you the big stuff that they got that they know you ain't never gonna get. When's the last time, even when you had the money and the availability, that they gave you a pocket deal that was only for them? Grant Cardone teaming up with that dude who hung out with Diddy, who belittled you, disrespected you, and you still bought all his stuff. So you know what he know? Talk down to you. You're dumb. You don't understand finances, so I got to dummy down to you. And when I talk to you, he knows you're going to be like that person who got to have what they can't get. So you're going to give him more of your money. Because the dude hanging out with Diddy told you he's the guy. But what he didn't tell you, like Jesse Jackson, oh, I'm getting paid big dollars on the back end regardless if this works or not. Facts, baby. Or he ain't telling you what you now finding out about your hero, MLK. His number one advisor was batting for the other team. I can't make this stuff up, ladies and gentlemen. You now finding out that MLK, he was thirsty for the pink toe. He was a Becky and Karen philanderer. Now, I hear what you're saying. DJ, you're going off the rip. But here's what I'm trying to tell you. He did do some righteous stuff. He had a dream. He told us we're going to be at the mountaintop. That was true. But he had bad character. And they covered it up. But you still kept following. But when Malcolm X had that steel rod in his back and told you that, hey, Elijah, he over there taking advantage of the young girls. Y'all turned on him. And now you see that he was right. It is what it is. Where you going with this, DJ? The reality is what I'm telling you. I don't take advice from people who are not lining up to the principles of God, and I can see the fruit on their tree. What do I mean by that? The best way you can check the fruit on somebody's tree, if God blessed them with, offspring, check out their children. Check out their inner circle of the people they hang out with the most. If they are godly walking people and they've been doing it for decades, they probably are godly walking people. But if they always shucking and jiving, guess what? You got a guy, he is the host on that program called Family Feud. And he got a daughter who's a gold digger. How do you think she got that way? Because he's no good. You know how we know he's no good? Because Mark Curry told us he stole his stuff. That's all I got to say, ladies and gentlemen. I ain't got nothing else, but what I'm going to tell you, our stuff stinks, but when it comes to our morals, our ethics, and our principles, we don't violate that, baby. We make a lot of mistakes, but when it comes to those, we learn three things, the cardinal rules. Number one, never mess with anybody's ego. Never. Number two, never mess with anybody's spouse or significant other. And number three, never mess with anybody's money. So we have realized the dream, and we want to help you tap into the dream as well. So if you're watching this in the replay, this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for Black history that we want to exclusively give you an opportunity to get down with us on Black history today so that you can plug in with us tomorrow. Get the Black history bonus package for your family. Become one of those 52 people who believed us back in February of 2022. believed us in March of 2022. Because you know what those people have realized? Our resort has grown over 60% in equity. And we're now got people knocking on the door, want to lease all of our beautiful units. That's going to make us some really good money. We are doing it slow, methodically, and right. We're not looking for quick money. All money ain't good money, ladies and gentlemen. We're building the infrastructure, and we're taking our time to build the skyscraper. So plug in, get the consultation. Let us make sure you got your ducks in a row. And I'm only talking to the professionals. I don't want you to get discouraged. Let's say you're watching this and you make $20,000, $30,000 a year, but you got your mind in the right place and you know you want to make $100,000, $200,000 and you're willing to invest in yourself. And you may have your last couple of $100. I want you to step up to the plate like my oldest son did. And what I want to share with you, here's an example. Show you what winners do. Not because they're my son, but because my son has seen 19 years, his dad ain't never had a job. 19 years, his dad been a go-getter. 19 years, his dad has followed God and believed in himself because God gave him the vision. So my son, he's off at college, and there's this amazing conference that was put together by people like us. They're supposed to get opportunities and internships and jobs in the software, the engineering world. And he reaches out, hops online. They say student tickets for the conference, $297. He hits them up. They tell him there's no more student tickets available. Even though the event is on his college campus and he can prove he goes to the campus, they said, no, son, you want to come to this campus? You want to come to this event on your campus, in your backyard, and we're the visitors? You got to pay full price, son. I want you to listen to this. So they told my son, they sunned him, but he got the best. They said $997. Now, you know what you would typically do? You would call your parents, cry, whine, all of that. You know what my son did? He said, okay. He looked at the list of the companies who's going to be there. He didn't call his mother. He didn't call his dad. He didn't call his grandparents. He said, let me work a couple of extra overtimes. And then he grabbed a little bit of money that he had left in his savings account and he bought the ticket. But you know what? 98% of you are negotiating. Oh, do I invest $497? Do I invest $197? Do I do this? My son bought the ticket. Told me he was going to the conference because I was going to the conference. Didn't even know he was going to the conference. I said, man, we're going to get a discount. And then he just happened chance, oh, Dad, the tickets are $997. I said, not for students. He said, well, no, that's not what they told me. Now, he goes to the event. He's got to go through other challenges because they don't actually deliver the organization structure the way they promised. And they're having like a secret find the recruiter thing. I'm like, what? He said, yeah, Dad, they supposed to be here and you had to go find them. You got to go chase them down. Did my son get discouraged? No, he didn't. You know what he did? He got smart, kept looking for the prize. And at the end of the day, on a sliver, somebody said, there's the person right there. Ran over there, talked to him for 5 seconds, showed him what he was doing, right on the spot, was ready, told him about a program he was creating. And the guy was like, that is amazing. At the same time, my son was emailing and sending his resume to every person who was the head recruiter on the website. And then that person said, wait a minute. You're this kid that been sending this stuff to us? We've been looking at your stuff and we were trying to find you. All of a sudden, they sped him up, Nick. They said, we got only one interview tomorrow. He gets the interview by happen chance, but by design. And he got hired on the spot. Let me tell you the serendipity. $47 an hour. 19 years of age, software engineer job. Not only did he get that, my son is a go-getter. He said, you know what? My roommate, does the same thing I do. And I know y'all said when you had one interview, they said, well, hey, if you recommended somebody to us, we need to talk to him. Guess what, Nick? They talked to his roommate. He got the gig too. Then on top of that, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to hear me. Performance, belief, he got another opportunity for $45 an hour. So starting the first week of May, he didn't have $997, but he knew he could afford not to miss it. He knew he didn't need to go run to mommy and daddy. He knew that this is what his calling was, and he had supreme confidence because he had been invested in for 19 years. And now, starting the first week of May, he's going to be clocking almost $100 an hour, pursuing his dream at 19. But guess what? You're watching this, you liking what we're saying, but you don't believe it. And you're saying, man, DJ, he's just one hell of a salesman. He always sells. No, I ain't got to sell you nothing. But I tell you what, give me 100 of my sons and we'll dominate this world. Give me 100 of D Nice and we'll play second fiddle to nobody. Question is, which one are you? Are you the spectator or are you the driver? I'm offering you the keys to the Ferrari. You got to be man or woman enough to drive it and shut down the white noise, because you're going to be the same person that's going to spend a couple of $100 if you got a wife, girlfriend, boyfriend, significant other on all this Valentine stuff, and that same money you could have put into your future, and you could be owning a 220 unit luxury residential resort, 5 luxury townhouses, a condominium, and a multi-million-dollar ancillary business that could give you Valentine's Day, Christmas, Black Friday, New Year's Day, your birthday, your anniversary for the rest of your life, and you would be stress-free, and you would have the epitome of the pom-pom lifestyle. Plenty of money, peace of mind. You got to come join us on the Beaches World Club, because guess what? Freedom ain't free, baby. We put this work in, and we showing you from zero to hero how to do it. We don't talk about it. We do it. We be about it. So, Nick, roll that last video for him, and then we're going to close it out and wish you a beautiful Black History Friday. Health. Man, we are excited. And again, we're 101. 101. 101, baby. Take a bite out of Zanzibar, but most importantly, take a bite out of your life and make it the best life you can have, because you believe in yourself, because God gave you the inspiration. But God can't drive a parked car. Got to put it in drive, baby. Rotate, baby. I know you hearing the audio on your end. I don't hear the audio, but hey, they get to see the video. Don't worry about it. There we go. shout out to, hopefully I'm pronouncing his name correctly, Kalia, who got one of the packages. We only have 2 of the free complimentary live stream replays left. But even without the live replay, man, what we going to talk about tomorrow? It's going to be off the chain. Not only going to talk about it, we're going to show you how to do it from A to Z on that excursion tip. We're going to show you what we're going to be rolling out for the Pom Pom Lifestyle Resort. It's going to be amazing. So if I'm you, I would like, share, subscribe, and there's a saying, don't meet us there, beat us there. Because this is going to be massively large. Let me leave you with this. If Zanzibar was not the hottest place on the planet, why did the NBA just purchase 20 hectares of land in Zanzibar? You go look up what 20 hectares is. NBA Africa is making Zanzibar the capital for the NBA product. And guess what? We were there first, and we're going to be all up in that. Because when they're looking for people on the island that know the American culture, who actually own equity and ownership, guess where they're going to look? I work with professional athletes. Oh, wait a minute. Scratch my head. The 6'7" guy in the video, our corporate president for corporate sponsorships, Gerald, is a former professional basketball player. Oh, wait. Hold up. Let me do you one better. My little brother, Brandon, who, when I met him in 2010, was like 19 years of age, and his best friend, first round draft pick for the Houston Rockets, signed a multi-million-dollar deal, and they had a bum financial planner, and I met him over Twitter and offered to give them managerial help, not financial help, but I wanted to manage them. Met them, treat them with respect. They found out that they POA'd, which is power of attorney, and the advisor was jacking them up, ripping them off. I showed them how to get out of the deal, and then, because they didn't know no better, I want you to hear this. They wanted me to rep them as the financial planner, but I couldn't do it because it would have violated the rules of engagement for financial planners and advisors to athletes. And it wasn't ethical, but they didn't know no better. So I told them, hey, no, can't do that. But here's what you do. Get out of that deal. They were thankful because you know what? 9 out of the other 10 people would have went and got their business. I didn't do that. Fast forward 12 months later, turns out my little brother, Brandon, his dad, serial entrepreneur, very successful in a small town, built his business just like I was, helped me get multi-million-dollar deal with HEB and Love's Trucking. Brandon, hey, DJ, I want to be in the financial service business. I tell him everything I know about it. Fast forward. Here's where the icing and the cherry on top of the cake. Remember, as you go up the ladder, the same heads you step over going to be same aces you got to kiss on the way down. But if you do right, nobody's important, but you treat every person importantly. I treated him with respect, honor, and treated him like a man, even though he was 19, 20 years of age. And now, 2018, he became a big-time, humble baller in the athletic world as a what? A financial advisor. And now he owns and operates with his brother a multi-billion-dollar wealth family office for families that minimum net worth is $100 million. What am I telling you? We have deep relationships. So this gentleman is now, you do the math, he's about 33 years of age. He's a big, bad, humble young man, and he helps me all the time open up doors And if he can do that for us, what do you think we can do for you? You think NBA Africa might want to talk to us when we introduce him to him? And he represents a lot of successful NBA players and some of the top entertainers on the planet. And we happen to be just like that. Three questions. Number one, DJ, show me the equity and ownership that you have in what you're trying to market, sell, and promote to me. Number two, Nick, show me how we can access the 7 spheres of money ecosystem to make my dream a reality for me. And if you can do 1 and 2, then my last question is, how do I enroll? How do I sign up? Nick, pull it up. Show them how to sign up. Because you deserve to have a pom-pom lifestyle. That's plenty of money and peace of mind. And most importantly, ladies and gentlemen, it's got to come from God. I believe the link is in the description. I believe we're giving an invitation for you to be in tomorrow's presentation, 12 Eastern, 11 a.m. Don't meet us there, beat us there. And guess what? We don't need you there. We want you there. You got anything for him, Nick? Shout out. It's an amazing time to be alive, baby.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Yep, that link is in the description. It's also pinned at the top of the chat as well. So all you got to do is hit the link. Sign up easy as 1, 2, 3. Yep.
Just that easy, baby. So the dream is real. Come join us, baby. Let us elevate your mind and free your soul, because we love you. So let's keep it real. Happy Friday. Enjoy Black History Month, but make it count for you and your children, so your children's children will never have to worry about money and peace ever again, because you had the courage to do the right thing at the right time, albeit it wasn't easy, but it was the right thing to do. So my fool's errand turned out to be real gold, and the serendipity is Zanzibar is the #1 destination in all of Africa, and it's in the top 5 for exotic destinations in the whole wide world. And far as business opportunity, it's #1. So God bless. We'll see you next time. We always wish you health, and we want you to come join us on the Beaches of the World Club in Zanzibar. And Nick, what do you tell them? If Zanzibar ain't their dream?
Hey, if Zanzibar ain't your beach, you can choose your beach, your own beach. And your beach is wherever you find your peace and your mental tranquility. That is your beach.
That's right. With that, we see you next week, part 3, baby. Or we'll see you tomorrow at 12 Eastern, 11 a.m. Central. Love you guys. Rotate.
Things that I like about Zanzibar was being on the land, seeing the emerald water.
Got to see the island, connect with the people, do exclusive luxury experiences that you'll only get on the island of Zanzibar.
The beach, fresh food, the people. I mean, I could write a short book about what I experienced here.
Eating the best fruit, vegetables, seafood.
Met some amazing people. We had an amazing time.
I like the tours that we went on, the Spice Island and the Paradise Island.
The snorkeling. That was an exclusive experience.
Huge sandbar. That was set up like our private dining area.
The sand is soft, the water's warm.
Unadulterated, pure, simple, Zanzibar.
So the opportunity in Zanzibar is very, 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 very clear. there is nothing but economical growth and development happening right now.
Zanzibar, just because it's an up-and-coming area.
Get here and you see the opportunity.
And then you come on the African side, you get to see even a different type of togetherness.
Being able to ask questions, and DJ was just like, hey, ask me anything.
Plenty of money and peace of mind. Zanzibar all day.